Welcome back to another episode of It's All Clutter. I'm Marcy. I'm a clutter coach, and I'm joining you from my new office space, which hopefully by the next time we do a live podcast, a pre-recorded podcast from this space, there's going to be color and it'll be more exciting to look at. Today we're going to talk about why you're never going to be done decluttering and why that's actually a good thing, why that's totally okay. So if you're at a point where you feel like this is a never-ending cycle, you don't know how to complete it, you don't know what the next step is, but you're just so sick of doing this over and over again, stick around. This podcast is going to change your perspective just a little bit. Okay, why are we never done decluttering? Decluttering is really the process of maintaining equilibrium in your home. As long as there is stuff flowing into your house, there needs to be stuff flowing out of your house. That is how you maintain a decluttered and organized home. When people embark upon a decluttering journey, typically it's because that flow has been out of whack. There's been more flowing in than has been flowing out. It's such a simple concept. In order to get to that point where you have a decluttered home, you need to increase the flow out and decrease the flow in. This process can take a really long time. And one of the biggest questions that we get is, when am I going to be done? How long is this going to take? The reality is we're never done. We're never done. Your life is going to change. Your circumstances are going to change. The people that you live with might change. You're going to be bringing in different things for different projects, for different phases of life forever. And that's a good thing. That is a sign of living. If you weren't bringing in new things, if things weren't changing, it would be the opposite, right? So let's embrace the fact that we have to consider decluttering to be a lifelong event, part of our everyday chores, because it's really a great sign of life. That being said, you do have to do a big declutter in the beginning to get down to the point where you're living within your space. It's often during this big declutter that you may begin to feel like it's taking forever, a little demoralized at the amount of time that you've put into decluttering your house, maybe a little demoralized about the amount of stuff that's in your house. Whatever it is, you hit this point where you just want to be done. The other thing that happens when we're doing this big declutter is we quickly realize the clutter is about more than just the stuff. Now, if you have followed us for a while, you know it's all clutter. It's the name of this podcast. It's all clutter is connected. Whether it's the thing, the actual physical stuff in your house, the emotion attached to it, the financial clutter in your life, maybe it's a difficult relationship that you're dealing with. Whatever it is, it's all clutter, it's all connected. As you start to tackle the stuff, you come up against the bigger things, the more difficult things, the emotional things. And that's where a whole different type of decluttering, a really important type of decluttering, happens as well. At this point, I want to encourage you not to give up. I had a conversation in one of our group programs recently with a member of the group who has been with us, working with us for 3 years. I'm going to play a recording of this conversation at the end of the podcast, but essentially she shared that she has finally come to the realization that she doesn't want to give up all of the support that she has in our communities, even when she finishes her decluttering journey, because all throughout life, we need different types of support. I think sometimes when we're decluttering and we get to this point where we realize that we need a little bit more support, maybe a different type of support, we live in a culture that does not tend to normalize getting support for what you need when you need it. We're kind of that, I can do this on my own, pull myself up from my bootstraps, make something of myself, figure it out on my own. But guess what? If you give yourself the gift of support when you need it, you will continue to grow as a person in ways that you never expected. So if you're at this point when you're decluttering, I just want to say, don't give up. Instead, lean into the support that you need. Hire yourself a coach to help you with whatever it is that you need help with. There's coaches for everything. Normalize getting support in your life. And as a friend, as a family member, when somebody else is struggling, help them normalize getting the support that they need to take the next step. Let's normalize getting support. Find a coach, find a therapist, searching and finding the right doctor to help you out. Find the right person. That person is out there. There is somebody who can help you. The true decluttering magic happens when you invest in yourself in an entirely new way. Once you tackle that other type of clutter, the things, the stuff, the physical objects, they become so much easier to deal with. Get yourself the right type of support and normalize supporting yourself for the rest of your life. If you need that support, or if you want to explore other types of support that we have available, we have Facebook communities, we have programs that bring together all different types of coaches. Simply drop me an email at support@prioritizeyoursanity.com or go to our website, prioritizeyoursanity.com. Get into our next boot camp, which is happening in a week. Get the support that you need. There is help out there. Just reach out. There is somebody on the other end who is waiting to help you.
I think, what I was thinking about too, I'm like, what have I accomplished? I've accomplished a lot during the time I've been here. And I'm like, well, how much longer is this going to take me? I think it's going to take me a long time. But like in thinking through that, I feel better about just kind of knowing. I think for some people, like the decluttering journey is, okay, I need to get these things done. It's going to take so much time. I will eventually get there. And I think for me, this is probably something that will be a continuation for as long as you have this. I mean, that's why I'm in the lifer thing. I think people need support for different areas of their life. That may be lifelong support that they need. And I think I'm that person. So I don't foresee, I guess, ever really being done, because I think I'm always going to need that reinforcement. So even when everything is about where I want it to be, I think I will still need to be active in this group. And so just kind of coming to terms with that and understanding makes me feel a lot less stressed. Just knowing that this is kind of my journey, but it's just kind of part of my life.
We need to normalize having support in our lives. Like there
Yes.
is nothing abnormal about wanting to stay in a group like this indefinitely because there's so much support. That's like the whole point. I mean, I continuously work with coaches in all different areas of my life because I just need support. We all need support. I think we just need to normalize
Yes.
receiving support, and that's like an awesome thing.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think just that realization of that for me, because I was thinking, coming into a new year, I'm like, okay, well, it's probably going to take me another year to get there, because I tend to think in, January to December, that just normal how humans block out time or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, another year. But then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I think this is something that I can appreciate having, that support going forward in whatever capacity I'm going to need it along the way. So
Yeah, absolutely.